Hey everybody, this is Scott with New Life Garage again. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If you're new, welcome to my channel for the first time. So, a big question that we have in the Yume or the electric scooter conversations is steering stabilizer. So I'll be the first to tell you that these scooters, mine's a Y11, and a lot of people like to ride with their feet side by side, okay? And with the board that you stand on, as big as it is, if you put much weight on the right side or left side, it's going to teeter-totter the board, the whole scooter very easily. And if you only have one hand on the handlebars, you're going to crash. It's that easy to do because they steer very easy. So I ordered this kit on Amazon, $68, just a generic electric scooter kit. But it does fit basically this type of scooter. It didn't say that it fit the Yume Y11 at all, but it uses a bracket right here, if you can see that bolts up to the side, and I can tell by the pictures with the lever and the mounting that it was identical. So it's going to use a bracket that goes there, and then it's going to use a bracket that goes on this fork over here on the side, and then you're going to have a steering stabilizer, which is basically a friction damper, and this is going to go on here, and it's got an adjustment so you can turn it up or down, however much resistance that you want. And this is going to go in between. So this is going to hook to this. This is going to hook here, and it's going to stick out a little bit, but some of these steering stabilizers that are made specifically for specific scooters, they're almost $200. So I figured it was worth a shot, because any little bit of a friction is going to work. So you're going to need a 5mm and a 6mm. That's pretty much it. And then we're going to take 2 screws out here, put this bracket on, and then we're just going to kind of see what it looks like and see how it does. I'm probably not going to do a ride video today because it's pretty cold outside and it's pretty wet. I'm doing this in a part of my house that we're kind of remodeling, but it has the best light, so that's why there's no floor, and that's why I got one more room, but it's way worse. Sheetrock dust and everything on the floor in that room. So I decided to just do it here because I wanted to get this video out, because we got some of my friends are wanting to buy these too. To be honest with you, one of my friends is not real cool with how this is going to stick out, and it is going to stick out, as you can see. I don't really have a problem with it myself. I may later. It may be a problem later, and he made some good points about it. And it also, he's very particular. He's like one of those guys that likes things to look nice, and to him, that looks less nice. There's not anything wrong with it. There's not anything wrong with him. He's just that way. So he really likes it to look nice, and this is not going to be something that looks nice when it's done. But I looked at a lot of these. Well, that's it's opinion whether you think it looks nice or not. But I've looked at a lot of these, and there's just not a lot of options. You could do it this way possibly, and I really don't know why you couldn't. I think you're going to maybe possibly limit your turning radius probably quite a bit if you do it this way. So let's just look at that real quick. So if we go here and here, that may work. We may just give that a shot. I know he'd appreciate it, because that actually puts it in there pretty good. So let's do that first. We either do it that way, or we can go maybe possibly this way. I like that better. Let's try that first. Let's try it that way, because if we can get it like that, he'll be cool with that, I'm pretty sure. So let's go. I've already loosened these screws a little bit just because they're kind of hard to get to. It's just, everybody knows how to loosen the screw, I think. Alright, that's 2 screws. Let me get this one. Now these are like a barrel type screw, and this goes most of the way through, and then you got another screw that goes inside that. So they got a little bit of room to be a little longer. So the thickness of this is maybe 1/4 inch. It's not going to make that big a deal. I think it's actually going to work. I really do. And I think everybody will be happy with it. So What happened is we were riding here a couple weekends ago, and a friend of mine's wife had a pretty nasty spill. It's just one of those things, man. It's you ride these things, you get comfortable with them, and then I've done it. I did something really stupid one day, and I was riding the scooter, and I had my hand on the throttle, and normally everything was fine, but I hit the throttle, something happened. Anyway, it shot out from underneath me, and I was scratching my head at the same time, and so I only had one hand on the steering wheel, and of course I wiped out. I didn't hurt myself, but I did. I wiped out pretty bad, and I got lucky. I didn't get hurt. Didn't have a helmet on or anything like that. So we're not gonna get this super tight right now. We're just gonna kind of snug it down just like that. We're doing more test fitting than anything. This I'm gonna put on pretty loose. Yeah, I think that'll be about right. We'll put this on pretty loose so we can slide it up and down or whatever we need to do. I hope this kit works because it's an affordable kit, and no one wants to spend $200 for a steering stabilizer, but no one wants to fall and break an arm either. So $200 is not unreasonable if that's what you want to do. But I'm one of those guys, if I can do it cheaper, I'm going to do it cheaper if I can. If it's not better, you know, I don't mind spending the extra money, but I don't want to be took advantage of, so I feel like this will work. And a lot of guys, I wasn't originally going to do a video on this, but there's a lot of interest in this setup, and especially for this affordable of a setup. And I definitely don't want any of you guys getting hurt out here on the scooters, and I definitely don't want any of my friends getting hurt on the scooter. So hey, I think this is gonna. There's two holes here. There's not a huge difference into which hole. I don't think. So I'm probably just going to use the closest one. Let's just put this through here. Now I'm not doing Loctite right now because I'm test fitting, but definitely when you do yours, do Loctite on everything. Put this fitting up so you can check it every once in a while. This, I guess, you know, it's gonna have to just go up a little bit. Yeah, so cool, no big deal. Wow, we'll see if I can drop that another time or two. So we're gonna do this one more time. Put this on. This one actually has a bolt and a nut. So this nut you don't have to put Loctite on because it's a nylon locking nut. Okay, so that's like that, and that's like that. So I feel like you need to turn it as far as you can one way and close this up as much as you can. Get everything like where you want it. Maybe snug it down there. Okay. Anyway, we had planned a trip a couple weekends ago, and it was actually supposed to be really nice that weekend, and it turned out to be not nice. It was very cold, and we about froze. But when you have somebody go down like that, and you know she hurt herself, you know she's still probably a little sore from that. You know, it stops the fun that you're having. So this is a small price to pay to help prevent that from happening. I got to run and get a crescent wrench real quick because I forgot I had that nut, and I got one real close by. So just hang on a second. No, sorry about that. Let me get rid of this cardboard. wouldn't necessarily need that no more. Put that to the side. That way you can see my beautiful board that I made. Just kidding. I did make it, but. Alright, so this one right here, we gotta have a wrench on the back side of it. Excuse my head being in the picture. Come on, man. I think I never worked an adjustable wrench before. Here we go. That's on there. Let's see if we can snug this up. Of course, I got the wrong one on there. Yeah, I know I've said this before about these drills. This little DeWalt stick drill 12 volt. They're so handy. Just for simple stuff like that right there. Get out of there. So again, the way that this works, if you can see, it has a gyro inside of it. And what happens is you push the button, which starts the gyro spinning. Then if I turn to the right, it'll spin to the right. And the further I go, the faster it goes. And you can also go to the left. Very handy. It's very stout. And it works really well. I mean, it's not going to get your stuff, you know, as tight as you want it, but most times it'll do pretty good. Sorry, the TV and there kicked off and ran. All right, so I have this kind of fastened down. I think everything's snugged up enough. I think so I can maybe turn it a little bit. Let me just tighten this up just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so this one is holding this barrel, so you should not be able to twist that barrel inside that clamp. And this clamp, you should not be able to twist on that fork. I still got to tighten it up over here a little bit. And then this one's tightened up down here. But everything is snug enough that we can kind of see what this feels like. So, I can already tell that it is creating some drag on that. And I don't know if it's turned. This goes round and round, so I guess the more you turn it, the oh yeah. Wow. Okay. So hey, let's go make sure we turn all the way this way. I want to do these wires a little bit different because they're hitting that bracket, but okay, that goes all the way, no problem. Hey, I like it. This is perfect. Look at that. All right, so this is done. Other than me tighten this up, this is done. Very, very, very simple. Y'all saw me do it. I did it in real time. I didn't cut the footage or anything like that. This has this adjustment on it so you can loosen the friction. So this is basically a friction damper. This rod goes through here. This creates this friction on that rod. And basically, if you're driving with one hand, it's going to make it more like you have both hands on there. It's not going to be so easy to turn. We use these for years on our racing bikes, like street bikes, because when you get up over about 125 miles an hour, the forks on the bike will start shimmying, and you could buy something like this. You know, they were a little bit higher end, put them on there, and it would stabilize that. And basically what's happening is the back of the motorcycle is trying to outrun the front, and that would cause that wobble. That's not the problem we have here. The problem we have here is not the speed. It's just that there's not much friction in the way these are put together, so it turns so super simple, and anything you do on top of this board will make it twitchy. So you really just have to have both hands on there all the time. This is fantastic. And my friend, when we talked about this before, all the ones that we saw were mounted this other way, and this was sticking way out, and it was, I have to agree with him, it wasn't very attractive, but this right here, I think that he would be good. So I think that's something you guys can do and enjoy, and I think it's definitely a great upgrade. You can get them in different colors too as well. So I just got the black one. I'm gonna try to put a link in there, but every time I add a link to my channel, it's so long that it won't let me leave it in there. So I may have to figure out a different way, maybe a screenshot or something of it. But anyway, that ends this video. I'm gonna stop the video. I'll tighten this up. I'll take it for a ride, maybe probably this weekend. Right now it's too cold, too wet, and I'll take it for a little ride and let you know how it does. But I think that's perfect. I think that's great. Y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by my channel. One more thing before I go, just because of the current controversy. I just got done working on my electric scooter, which is a manly electric scooter. I just put a steering stabilizer on it because it goes 53 miles an hour. And after I do such a repair, I like to maybe have a beer, a manly beer, not some light beer supported by some not man. And when I drink my beer, I like to drink it out of a manly mug. I've had this mug for, I don't know, 30 years. A man gave me this mug. I was at his wedding. He was marrying a woman. And I thought while we're doing this, I might as well show y'all how to pour a beer properly. Which is, you just put your bottle in there upside down. If you're drinking a man's beer, it's going to come in a bottle. Then you just lift this beer up. Nice and slow. Till you get to the top. Look at that. Perfect every time. So, walk away from Bud Light. I would tell you to go buy a Michelob Amber Bock, but if you start doing that, I won't be able to buy it. I'll tell you what, there might not be nothing like being a woman, but there ain't nothing like being a man either. And I'm pretty sure there's nothing like being a man trying to be a woman. So be a man and drink a man's beer.